that's good. Hold it. Jerry, how's that?
Where's the upstage corridor wall? Aggie, I thought
It was too wobbly. They need to put some extra braces on it.
Oh, I hope they don't make them too bulky. Our people have to be able to cross backstage behind that thing.
I know, that's all we need is for somebody to break a leg.
Where are our players?
They're going over their lines. You want them?
Of course I want them. It's only 3 days till dress rehearsal. We've got to get the show moving.
Hey, everybody on stage!
Come in.
Oh, let's
Louise, you any work to do?
Peggy said everyone.
I didn't mean you.
I'm someone.
Everybody in the play, Louise.
Well, she should have said so.
Now, is everyone here?
Not counting Louise.
I know, Violet, I know.
Can we get on with this rehearsal?
She has to do that now?
Louise!
What?
Do you have to do that now?
Do you want the corridor wall or don't you?
Isn't there anything else you can work on?
I guess.
Fine. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take the action from the top of Act 3. We've wasted enough time already.
I've been ready for half an hour.
Who hasn't?
I'm sorry I was late. We've only got the one car and Francis had to work late.
Hey, you should have called me. I drive right past your place, Jerry.
Saul picks me up for every rehearsal.
Does Margie know that?
Come on, Billy. We can't have Smitty coming by bicycle after dark.
People, can we have these charming conversations later? We've got to get the show rehearsed.
That's what I've been saying all along, haven't I, Henry?
Yes, dear.
Polly, we're all just as anxious as you are. This is a first play by a new author, and we want to do it justice.
Justice tempered with mercy.
I happen to think it's a lovely play.
Oh, sure. You've got the fattest part.
How dare you?
Darling, he means you have the most lines.
I know very well what he meant.
Might I remind you all that the author will be here at dress rehearsal, and we still haven't learned the third act? And how about those scripts? We should have been off book 2 weeks ago.
I know my lines.
And I know mine.
How about the rest of you?
Should I come in?
As soon as I give the signal. All right, top of Act 3, and curtain.
Lord Dudley, you give the most charming parties in the whole of England.
You are too kind, Diana.
Louise!
What?
Leave the damn curtain alone!
What you said?
That was for the actors. We're starting the act, not ending it.
I was just doing my job.
That's fine, Louise. Now leave it alone, okay?
Fine by me.
All right, take it from the top again.
Now?
Yes, now!
Lord Dudley, you give the most charming parties in the whole of England.
You are too kind, Diana. A pity Sir Percival could not be here.
Do you know, I'm worried about Percival. He's never accepted an invitation to one of our parties and then not shown up. At least not without sending word.
Oh, is that me?
I thought you knew your lines, Billy.
I do. I just forgot where I'm supposed to say them.
I can't stand it. He's doing this on purpose. I know he is.
Polly, sit down. Billy, pay attention to the cues. Take it back a line and start again.
Whose line is it?
It's Polly's.
Aggie, what are you still doing on stage?
If I stand in the wings, I can't hear them.
If you heard him, why didn't you throw Billy his line?
He told me not to throw him a line unless they asked for him. I thought he was just pausing before speaking.
All right. Aggie, get the hell off the stage. All right, everybody get back in the position and we'll take it from the top.
Do we have to?
Yes!
You don't have to yell.
That's what you think. Now, shall we begin once again? Good. Take it from the top. Violet, go ahead.
Lord Dudley, you give the most charming parties in the whole of England.
You are too kind, Diana. A pity Sir Percival could not be here.
Do you know, I'm worried about Percival. He's never accepted an invitation not to show up at one of our...
Just go on.
to show up at one of our parties and then not shown up. At least not without sending word.
But Lady Margaret, he might have had motor trouble.
Yes, indeed. I do hope he hasn't had an accident.
No. He hasn't had an accident.
That's what I said.
No, you said he hasn't had an accident, as if someone else did.
Oh. Should we take it from the top?
Oh, damn it.
Come on, Violet! Sorry. Yes, indeed. I do hope he hasn't had an accident. These roads can be treacherous at night.
Begging your pardon, my lord, but should we delay dinner any longer?
No, I think not. Can't wait for Percival forever. Shall we, my dear?
I suppose so. But do you not think someone ought to call Percival's flat to ascertain the reason for his accident?
Do you know, that might be a sound idea. There's something distinctly odd about all of this.
All of what, Billy?
Violet, you did it again.
Did what?
You call me by my real name. I'm Stephen Sellers, and you are Diana Lassiter. Is that so hard to remember?
Billy, do you mind? Take it from Violet's line.
All of what, Stephen?
Mine.
This business about...
Got it. This business about Percival and the necklace. He did say he was bringing it tonight, Lady Margaret.
Well, I did not speak with him directly, but there was a message delivered this morning in the post.
What? On St. Swithin's Day?
By Jove, never thought of that. Margaret, are you certain about that message?
I'd come to think of it, no.
You didn't receive a message?
Why, yes, I did. But now I wonder if it were actually from Percival.
I should very much like to see that telegram.
No, you jumped the lines.
What? Oh, sorry. Hang on, I'll get it. Yes. But it did come by post.
I assumed it had.
Assumed? You mean you didn't actually see it?
Why, no.
Then how did you know its content?
Content!
Content!
Why, Dr. Forbes told me what it had said.
Is there any reason I shouldn't have?
No, of course not, old chap. Only if there was no delivery of the post today, then how?
It was not a letter, it was a telegram.
Now you say that line, the one you jumped before?
Yes. I should very much like to see that cablegram.
Telegram!
What difference does it make?
None, but if Saul says telegram, then you say
What
telegram.
do you mean, if I say telegram? I always say telegram.
I don't give a hoot in hell who says what. Can we get on with this disaster?
If we could get through the thing once, we could start polishing our parts.
And when are we getting our real furniture? These metal chairs are painful to work on.
Oh, but they're polishing your parts.
Oh, dear.
So stop with the jokes and buckle down to work.
I was just trying to ease the tension.
Your jokes about Polly are causing the tension.
Okay, no more jokes. Can we please get on with the play?
I thought I could get the job finished while nobody was working.
We're about to start working.
Oh, why didn't you say so? I think I'll make some coffee.
Fine. Now, everybody get back in position. We'll take it for Billy's line, all right?
Yes. I should very much like to see that telegram.
As a matter of fact, I don't have it. The message was phoned from the telegraph office.
Doris, have there been any telephone messages this evening?
Now see here, you insolent young pup. Are you doubting my word?
Of course he isn't, Rex. Stephen, you should apologize to Dr. Forbes.
Oh, I shall, as soon as Doris answers my question.
What was that?
Louise dropped the coffee cup
You
tray.
broke it out of my hand.
Hell, I
Did anything right?
I don't think so.
Ladies, could you hold it down, please? All right, let's pick it up where we left off.
No, sir.
What?
I said.
I know what you said, just wasn't ready for it.
Take it back a line and start again.
Yes. Oh, I shall, as soon as Doris answers my question.
No, sir.
What, are you quite sure?
The telephone has been out of order since this afternoon, Mum.
Oh, wait, Smitty, that's short for madam. It doesn't mean that the telephone was keeping mum.
The telephone has been out of order since this afternoon, Mum.
Aha! And what do you say to that, Dr. Forbes?
Saul, that's your cue.
Didn't we skip a page? This part's coming too early.
Maggie?
All right, wait a minute. I'm trying to find the place. Well, what page are you on?
Oh, I left my script at home. I was so anxious to get the car. As soon as Francis got in, I took right off without thinking about it.
All right, well, I think Saul's right. We go right from page 3.2 to page 3.4. Who's got a complete script?
I've got it. Page 3-3. Saul's right. We skipped the whole bit about the diamond necklace.
Well, how come I don't have that page?
Oh, damn, I must have miscounted when I made the copies. Has everyone else got it?
Yeah, got mine right here.
All right, let's go back and do the party skip.
How can I follow along without that page?
Here, take my script. I've got the lines down cold. If I ever get a chance to say them.
Say, while we're stopped, I've got a question.
What?
It's about the play's title. Isn't that a steal from something else? An old Agatha Christie movie, I think it was.
Oh, I don't think Phyllis Montague would steal a title, Billy.
There's no way she could. No one can copyright a title. It's the law. There's just not enough words to go around and name things.
Even if that's true, what about the advertising for our show? Won't some people think this is by Agatha Christie?
And it sure will be good for our box office.
And it is a murder mystery, so no one gets hurt.
But it doesn't sound like much of a murder mystery if no one gets hurt.
I thought Sir Percival got bumped off by Dr. Ford.
Oh, man, all of you. Did we come here tonight to rehearse or to discuss originality versus plagiarism?
Jerry's right. Let's get back to work. Sorry I interrupted.
What line do you want to go back to?
Yeah, where does the line about the necklace come in anyhow?
I see what happened. Smitty, you came in too early.
I did? I thought I was supposed to come in when Violet says the line about the treacherous rose.
Well, you're almost right. It's where she says the line about the lecherous toads.
Gee, I'm sorry, but it sounds about the same.
Phyllis Montague fancies herself a poet.
She is a poet, a rare talent, and a great writer.
Would you feel that way if she had you as a mute?
Now see here!
Oh, stop it, all of you. Smitty, listen to me, this is important. You mustn't take your cue from the words alone. Pay attention to the plot. That way you'll know when you're supposed to enter, even if Violet says the line wrong, don't you see?
I didn't say the line wrong.
You didn't say it at all.
Well, how could I when Smitty came in early?
All right, that's enough. Do your arguing on your own time.
Coffee ready.
Finally, I could use the cup.
But we've barely gotten started.
Well, listen, maybe a break is a good idea. Let's all have a cup and then take it from the top and then get it right.
Now you're talking.
Maggie, don't leave yet. I want to talk to you. I'm getting very worried about our progress.
What progress?
I know what you mean. We've never been this far behind on a show.
You know, Jerry, it's not your fault. We've never had the illustrious author in our hair before. If Phyllis would quit rewriting the damn show while the cast is trying to learn it.
Well, she's promised not to make any more changes, Aggie.
We want to make a bet she shows up here with 7 new pages.
Oh, don't, Aggie. They haven't learned the last batch of rewrites.
Small wonder the way Polly keeps inviting Phyllis to dinner and getting her part fattened. It's almost as big as she is now.
Aggie, don't you start with the fat jokes now, please. I'm having enough trouble with Saul.
If Polly had her way, this would be a one-woman monologue.
Well, at least Phyllis is letting us do her play for free.
Naturally, nobody would pay money to do it.
Oh, be fair, Aggie. It isn't that bad.
But if Polly keeps padding her part...
Oh, she won't. I'll have to put my foot down. 3 days till dress rehearsal. We'll be lucky to learn the lines we've got.
You know, some of the mistakes tonight are better than the original lines. If you would just let the cast go, this play could be a riot.
Aggie, Murder Most Foul is not a comedy. Phyllis Montague would scream if the audience started laughing at it. She'd pass right out on the floor.
Well, then you better have the smelling salts ready for opening night.
Oh, Aggie. Is there anything left in the pot?
Not if you're lucky.
I heard that, Saul Watson.
Then let it be a lesson to you.
Well, I certainly hope we get through this act tonight. 3 days till dress rehearsal, and we have not even done a complete run-through.
Thank your friend Phyllis for that.
You mustn't blame Phyllis, Billy. She's simply a perfectionist.
She wasn't satisfied with the script. Why'd she submit it?
Well, if we picked some other show, she'd have had to wait till next year to get it done.
Why couldn't we do it as our next show?
We've got our audiences preconditioned.
Brainwashed is more like it.
Oh, Saul, that's putting it rather strongly.
Oh, it's the unvarnished truth. We never vary, season after season. We do a mystery, a comedy, a drama, and a musical, in that order, without fail.
Yeah, but why?
We started the theater that way. It just got to be habit. For us and our patrons.
What would be the harm if we mixed it up?
We confuse people. comedy fans would come to the drama and start laughing at all the tragic moments, and the music fans would start keeping time to the comedy.
Or stop during the mystery.
They may still do that.
Aggie, whose side are you on anyway?
I'm on the side of sanity, which doesn't do me much good around here.
Well, I'm all set. Who else is ready to give it a go?
Oh, relax, Saul. We're all way much too tense, and we're all snapping at each other. You know, usually this close to opening, we're just kidding around and having a marvelous time.
If you want my opinion, we're running scared.
Scared of what?
Well, in our own way, we're just as perfection-oriented as our author. We want the show to be a smash, not a smash-up.
Amen.
Oh, we'll get it, we'll get it. You know, usually when we're this awful in rehearsal, we always manage to bring it off.
Well, that's with a printed script, Polly. This typewritten stuff is okay, don't get me wrong. It's all the revisions that are killing us.
But Phyllis gave us her solemn word.
It's the only kind of word she knows. I bet that woman hasn't giggled in her life.
And she promised the same thing last week, Polly, and then showed up on Monday with 3 new scenes.
I wish she'd stop changing the identity of the murderer. I don't know whether to radiate menace or charm the pants off everyone.
Well, you won't do either just standing there. Come on, everyone, positions. Let's see if we can get through to the curtain without stopping.
Better. I've got to get home and study for biology exam.
Wait, Smitty. Jerry, are we taking it from the top? Where are we going?
Why don't we go back to Violet's line when Smitty made her entrance too early and do the page we left out?
I can't remember what my line is.
Hey, Aggie, throw her a cue.
Let me find the place. All right, I found it. Violet, I'll tell you Billy's line and then you come in, okay?
Okay.
Ah, the Lady Margaret. You might have had motor trouble.
Yes, indeed. I do hope he has a tad. Oh, wait, I'll get it.
I certainly hope so.
Polly, please.
I do hope he hasn't had an accident. These roads can be treacherous at night.
Is that right?
Oh, no, that was treacherous. Wait for lecherous.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Well, who does have the next line?
It's Polly's.
Oh, let me think.
It's don't say it's
I'll get it.
I certainly hope so.
Oh, for the love of...
Don't tell me. I got it. Violet, would you throw me your line?
Roads can be treacherous at night.
Diana, what a thing to say. It would make one think that perhaps there is some truth to that story about the curse.
Nonsense, my dear. There's no such thing as a curse.
And yet, everyone who has ever owned the Deli Diamond... Wait, Jerry, does it have to be called that? It sounds like it comes from a delicatessen.
That's because you're not sounding the H, Billy. It's Delhi, not Delhi.
Oh, come on, Polly. The H is silent. It is pronounced deli.
Can't we please go on? I've got to study for that exam.
Wait, Smitty, Billy's got a point. It does sound like it belongs alongside the liverwurst.
Right?
It looks all right when you read it in the script, but it sounds just plain silly.
Let's call it the Calcutta Diamond.
There, comes on.
You can't do that. Phyllis wouldn't like it.
Why
She
not?
picked that particular name for its lovely alliteration, Delhi Diamond.
So we'll alliterate. We'll call it the Calcutta Carbuncle.
Carbuncle?
Yeah, the large gem, like a ruby garnet cut, whatchamacallit, the cabochon.
Sounds like a big zit.
How do you?
Stop it, Saul. Oh, there must be another gem we can use.
Oh, you mustn't tamper with Phyllis's dialogue. She isn't gonna like it.
Well, she'll like it a lot less if her Deli Diamond gets a laugh.
Jerry's right, dear. It should have a different name.
Well,
I've got it. Let's call it the Ranchapur Ruby.
I like it. It's got class.
Thank you.
what are we gonna tell Phyllis?
Tell her she rewrote it that way. She's done so many revisions, she'll probably believe it.
Well, we can only hope. Meanwhile, children, can we return to the play?
Okay, where was I?
Jerry, should I write in that change or not?
Yeah, but do it in pencil just in case.
All right. How do you spell Ranchapur?
Think it. Nobody has to read it but you. Billy, take a finger line. It's the one right after Lord Dudley scoffs at the curse.
Yes. And yet, everyone who has ever owned the Ranchapur Ruby has always met with a dreadful demise.
There, you see, I knew there was a reason for her words. It's double alliteration. Delhi Diamond, dreadful demise.
Who gives a damn?
Now see here, you can't talk to my wife like
from
that.
this I agree with Saul. Who gives a damn? Really good.
Right. Watch this. And yet, everyone who has ever owned the Ranchapur ruby has always met with a rotten requiem.
Sound like an elocution teacher.
Well, so does Phyllis Montague.
No, really?
It double alliterates, doesn't it?
Billy, don't leave the line ending. Okay?
All right. Has always met with a dreadful demise.
But Percival doesn't own the diamond, the ruby, anymore. Not since he sold it to Lord Dudley for Lady Margaret's collection.
Nevertheless, Percival did own it, and that might be enough.
See here, Dr. Forbes. You are a man of science. Surely you don't believe in curses.
I only know there are strange things in the history of India, things which defy rational explanation.
Nonsense! Sheer poppycock! Superstitious drivel!
Quite possibly, Lord Dudley. And yet, where is Sir Percival?
Frankly, I'm glad he's not here.
Why, Diana, what a thing to say.
I mean it. Sir Percival is no gentleman.
Here now, what are you saying?
When he looks at me, I feel as though his hands were moving all over my body.
But he is a knight of the realm.
He is a disgusting toad, and such toads can be lecherous at night.
Begging your pardon, Lord, but should we delay dinner any longer?
No, I think not.
Louise, what are you doing?
Isn't that where the phone bell rings? Oh, wait, I turned 2 pages at once. Sorry about that.
Sorry, she says. What if she does that during a performance?
She won't, Polly, she won't. Louise, you've got to be more careful.
Look on the bright side. Now we know the phone bell works.
Oh, that girl, I could just wait.
No, you couldn't. Louise has a black belt in karate.
And who's to say I haven't?
They only go up to size 42.
That does it! I have to do!
Now, honey, you mustn't be hasty about
Only
this.
kidding.
Crash my phone.
I better go apologize.
What do we do now?
We can't work around her. She's got herself in damn near every scene.
Not the love scene in Act 2. Maybe we can do that one.
Can we wait till we get some real furniture? That metal is awfully hard to cuddle on.
Hey, when did we get the sofa?
It was supposed to be here 2 days ago.
Could you call and find out?
Yeah, I could try.
You want to look at that corner wall now, Jim?
Oh, yes, I do. I'm worried about those braces.
You and me both. I've got 6 2x4s on it, and the thing still flaps like a sail.
Well, I guess I'll go hit the old biology book.
You've got it here.
Why not? All the time I spend waiting to make my entrance, I could study for 3 exams.
Well, Violet, what do you say?
All right. I'm ready when you are.
Okay. On your mark. Get set. Oh, Diana. I was seeking Lady Margaret.
Lady Margaret is cutting roses in the garden, Stephen. She may not return for some time.
I see. Would you mind if I waited for her? Here.
Naturally not.
Might I sit?
If you are so inclined.
Diana,
Yes, Stephen.
would you take offense if I were to
Stephen, what are you trying to say?
dash it off, Diana? Must we play at words? You know the message that longs to cry out from within my heart.
Is it possible? Do I dare for a moment imagine that the message in your heart is the self-same message that cries out from within my own?
Diana,
Yes, Stephen.
do you mean, do I dare to dream?
Have a care, sir. Have a care. You know I am betrothed to another man.
And yet, you do not draw away.
Oh, Stephen, can you not reason out why?
I'm almost afraid to.
Then cease your noble trepidation, Stephen Sellers. For though I am a high-born lady, I am also a woman.
Diana,
Oh, Stephen, if Dr. Forbes should come upon us.
hang your illustrious fiancé. He shall not have you. Oh, Diana.
Oh, Billy.
Oh, Violet.
Oh, yes. No wonder you wanted a real sofa. Now, Louise,
I didn't see a thing. Not a thing.
Oh, Billy, do you think she suspects?
How could she? I didn't suspect myself until just a moment ago.
Oh, darling, neither did I.
Anybody here?
Billy, that sounds like Miss Montague.
Tonight? But she promised not to come back to a dress rehearsal.
Did you all hear what I heard?
Phyllis.
Sounded like Phyllis.
Probably 5 new pages of dialogue for you.
Saul, I just accepted one apology from you. Do you want to have to give me another?
I'm sorry, Polly.
Why, Phyllis, we weren't expecting you, at least not tonight.
Oh, well, I know I'm being a naughty girl, Gerald. Oh, but I have so many new and good things to share with you all that, I simply couldn't wait until the dress rehearsal to stop by.
Well, that's a mercy.
Phyllis, more changes, we open in 4 nights.
That's why I decided not to wait until the dress rehearsal to stop by. This would be too much to have to learn in one night.
What makes you think we can do it in 3?
Don't be a tease, Henry. It's really all very simple. I've simply added just one extra character and cut the love scene.
Cut the love scene?
Perhaps I'm putting it too strongly. It's not precisely cut, just cut out of Act 2 and moved back to Act 1.
Oh, well, that's not so bad.
Except it's no longer between Diana and Stephen.
Then between who else?
Yeah, the Lord and Lady are already married.
You can't mean the doctor and the maid, can you?
Perhaps I didn't make it clear. Now, Diana still plays the scene, but now it's with Sir Percival.
What? But Phyllis...
How can you do such a thing?
Oh, well, I got to thinking that perhaps a Knight of the Realm was a better catch for Diana than a mere American commoner like Stephen. So
Phyllis, I didn't say why. I said how. We don't have a Sir Percival in the show.
Exactly. Everyone refers to him all the time, but he never actually appears.
It's kind of rough on Diana if you make that change, considering I bump off Percival before I get to the house.
You do?
Oh, Phyllis, can't you even remember your own plot?
Well, yes, but I don't recall a murder. Show me where it says so.
We never actually see it done. But once we find that Percival has vanished, and that Rex has the famous gemstone Percival was bringing to the party, then we figure out who killed him. See?
Murder. I never thought of it as a murder. I just thought that, Rex picked Percival's pocket and, perhaps drained all the petrol from the tank of his car to keep him from the party. Well, after all, murder is so
Popular with our patrons?
And we've been advertising this as a murder mystery for weeks.
And we open in 4 days, Phyllis. It's a little late to be auditioning Percival's.
Oh, but I've written you all the loveliest new lines. Won't you at least have a look at them?
I'm pregnant!
You're what?
Diana is.
Right.
But who's the father?
Oh, that's on the 3rd sheet.
Lord Dudley?
Henry!
Polly, don't be an idiot.
I know, but it was a shock.
This is crazy. Phyllis, how can Dudley be the father if he and Diana have only just met?
Oh, that's on the 5th sheet.
Amnesia?
Yes, because that explains why he doesn't remember their meeting.
But if Diana's carrying his child, she must remember something.
No, that's explained on page 7. You see, it was a dark and stormy night.
Phyllis! This is totally impossible. The entire thrust of the plot is altered. Everyone has a brand new motivation for what they do.
Surely with a little work.
In the next 4 days.
Couldn't do it in 4 months.
Oh, but I've worked so hard.
And we haven't, Phyllis. There's no way we can make these changes at this late date.
But they're such little changes.
Little? What about the ending? If Stephen is going to marry Diana, Won't her pregnancy kind of put a crimp in the festivities?
Well, I'm working on that.
More changes? Phyllis Montague, do you have any notion how hard it is to put on a play? Even a play that doesn't change direction every 3 days? This script should have been finalized 3 weeks ago.
And what is this? Lady Margaret goes into a state of shock at the news of Diana's pregnancy and loses the power of speech.
Really? Maybe this person's not so bad after all.
And what about my mother?
What about your mother?
Well, when I first tried out for the part, my mother insisted on looking over the script because she didn't want me to play full of sex. And if Diana's pregnant, I'll have to quit the show.
Oh, but she's only 2 months pregnant. I mean, it's not going to show.
Mother thinks ahead.
Well, of course, if you'd all rather not do my little play.
Oh, now hold it right there, Phyllis. We all appreciate the opportunity to do a play for which we do not have to pay royalties. In fact, doing your show would put this theater's budget in the black for the first time in 6 months. However, when the play rating committee agreed to do this play of yours, it was on the basis of the original script. Now that play we promised to do, and we will, but this latest batch has nothing to do with that agreement.
You're telling me that you now feel free to reject my play?
Not the play as first submitted, Phyllis, and I will even grant you all the alterations you've already made, but this latest batch is just too much.
Do you have the authority to speak for the entire committee?
No, but when I tell them it's either the first version or no version, I'll have their unanimous backing.
Well, of course, if you really feel strongly about this matter, dear Gerald. Polly, how do you feel about it?
Well, it's very close to opening night and all these changes and, well, perhaps we could do a...
Should cut all your speeches.
Oh, I'm with Jerry.
Me too.
You bet.
Right on.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Phyllis.
All right. Go ahead and do the original version. But if the show's reviews turn out to be a box office disaster...
We'll all remember who wrote the original.
Do you think maybe we were a little rough on her?
She did take it rather hard.
She said once at dinner that she looks upon this play as her child.
And it's the only offspring she'll ever have.
And when she tried to make that child a little prettier.
Oh, crap. I wish you hadn't put it like that.
Oh, don't be a sap, Jerry. She wasn't trying to make her child prettier. She was giving it an extra head.
All right. Let's leave the kid alone and start learning to love it as it is.
Now you're talking.
Okay, everybody, we came here tonight to rehearse. Let's rehearse.
And I will give you all until the count of 3, and if I don't hear some snappy dialogue, I'm picking up that hammer again.
And I'll hold the nails.
Oh, I need another cup of coffee. You people pick up your long faces and get back into character.
Shall we take it from the top?
Not if you want to finish rehearsing the act before dawn. Go back to Saul's line about the telegraph office, okay?
As a matter of fact, I don't have it. The message was phoned from the telegraph office.
Doris, have there been any telephone messages this evening?
Now see here, you insolent young pup. Are you doubting my word?
Of course he isn't, Rex. Stephen, you should apologize to Dr. Forbes.
Oh, I shall, as soon as Doris answers my question.
No, sir.
What, are you quite sure?
Telephone has been out of order since this afternoon, Mum.
Aha! And what do you say to that, Dr. Forbes?
Does that answer your question?
I believe you owe Dr. Forbes an apology, Stephen.
Doris, you had better answer that before we owe the caller an apology too.
Yes, sir. Hello? Who? Why, yes. He is. Just a moment. It's for you, sir.
Who is it, Doris?
Sir Percival.
It can't be. I mean,
Yes, Doctor. Exactly what do you mean?
well,
Hello? What? Yes. Yes, I see. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dudley, you look so strange. What did Percival say?
Excuse me just a moment.
Did we do something wrong?
Oh, no, of course not. I just wanted to see what you were all doing when the telephone rang. Could
But
we just
Jerry-
take it back a few lines?
It's a long way to the end of the act.
I give this will only take a minute. Just take it from Smitty's line about the telephone, okay?
The telephone has been out of order since this afternoon, Mum.
Aha! And what do you say to that, Dr. Forbes?
Louise!
Sorry, I forgot to wind the tape back up. Hang on. Now I've got it.
Do my line again. Aha! And what do you say to that, Dr. Forbes?
And only 4 days till opening night.
I'll get it.
Louise, why isn't the curtain open?
There's a draft in here. The curtain keeps some of it out.
That's because somebody left the front door open. I closed it.
Well, why are your theaters always so drafty? That stinks.
They're designed that way on purpose. The breeze helps in case the play smells.
I don't suppose you have a particular play in mind, Aggie?
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Jerry, do we have to wear makeup tonight?
Well, I don't care so much about the men, but I do want to see how the women look, especially their hairdos.
I think they're using wigs.
I've seen the wigs. I want to see what they look like wearing them.
I'll tell them.
How do you like the wall?
It looks okay from this side, but how much room is there to move around behind that thing?
If they're really careful, they've got about 2 inches on either side. If you said Polly, of course.
Well, how's she going to get from the garden to the prop table for the roses she brings on stage?
Oh, she doesn't have to. I'm putting the roses on that side of the stage. Told her I was simplifying things for her. Just didn't tell her what I was simplifying.
That's good thinking. We've got to keep her happy. She almost walked out again last night thanks to Saul Watson.
Well, you gotta admit, though, he was pretty funny.
Yes, but his sense of humor cost us a half hour at least. I finally got him to swear that he'll say that Lord Dudley is off to have a word with Lady Margaret, not chew the fat with her.
Well, even if you can get him to behave during rehearsals, how do you know what he's gonna do once the show's in performance?
Oh, Aggie, I don't even want to think about it. I'm already having nightmares.
I don't know how you can sleep at all. Tomorrow night, the whole thing's out of your hands. All you can do is stand in the wings and pray. There's not enough room to kneel.
Well, maybe I'll spend opening night in some cozy bar in another town.
Hey, so what do you think of this thing, Jerry? Looks real, doesn't it?
Oh, it certainly does. It was nice of Phyllis to lend it to us for the show. Costume jewelry this good is awfully expensive.
Have we figured out yet what we're gonna do about the central stone? We haven't yet told Phyllis that we've nixed her Delhi diamond. How are we gonna pass that thing off as a ruby?
As a matter of fact, Billy came up with the solution to that. From now on, it is known as the White Ruby of Ranchipur.
Is there such a thing as a white?
Well, there is now. And please keep that in a safe place between performances, Louise. We wouldn't want it to get misplaced or stolen.
Don't worry. I figured this necklace is our ace in the hole. Phyllis will preoccupy herself worrying about it instead of the play.
There's something to that anyway.
Yeah, you know, I'd feel a lot easier if that safe had a back to it. A person could tiptoe up the back of the flat and pick that necklace right up.
Well, I could nail one on, but I'd have to take the safe down first, and that would mean repainting the flat.
Why would you have to take it down?
Well, because if I hammer on the back and the front is where it is now, the whole thing will tear loose and fall onto the stage.
You know, I'm not doing anything except cueing people once the curtain opens. Why don't I hold on to the necklace and just hand it to Saul when he reaches into the safe?
Oh, would you mind, Aggie? It would set my mind at rest.
No problem at all.
Well, you better start practicing. Tonight's your only chance.
Easy as pie. But the practice wouldn't hurt.
You ready for the mob yet?
Ah, if they're all in costume, I guess so.
Well, if they're not, it's their tough luck.
me on stage!
All right. Line up along the front of the stage so I can see how you all look. Well, the costume seemed to fit all right.
I think mine is a little bit too small.
I didn't say a word.
And you'd better not.
Polly, be fair. It's one thing if he picks on you, but if you're going to blow up every time you think he might say something.
You're right. I'm sorry, Saul. It just must be rehearsal, I guess.
No problem.
All right, everybody turn around slowly so I can see what you look like in back. Yeah. You're all going to look just fine. Oh, wait a minute. Violet, why aren't you wearing a bustle like Polly?
I'm not wearing a bustle.
I'm sorry.
You're sorry.
Well, Violet, why aren't you wearing that wig?
Oh, it's too big. Let me show you. See? I look like an English sheepdog.
Well, can't you pat it or take a tuck in it or something?
Oh, I didn't have time just now, but I'll think of something.
Well, you're all going to look just fine. Now suppose we see whether you can act.
Positions for Act 1?
Might as well, yes.
Do you want it with the curtain?
Yes, I do, Louise. I want everything exactly as if this were the performance.
Looks like you got your wish, Jerry.
Insane.
Gerald, I have the most dreadful news. We're going to have to change the name of my play.
What? We can't, Phyllis. The program's been printed and the publicity's been mailed
We
out.
must. I've just discovered that there is a movie with the same title, Murder Most Foul.
Oh, Phyllis, I don't think the audience is going to be confused. They're going to be able to see this isn't a movie.
Yeah, and a movie. No one forgets their lines.
Don't say things like that, Saul. I'm having enough trouble already.
Oh, I do hope you are joking, Marla.
Who? What? Oh. I almost forgot your real name, Smitty.
No one ever uses it, except my mother.
And Phyllis.
Oh, but I think nicknames are so vulgar, Saul, don't you?
I'm the wrong guy to ask. Phil.
Phyllis! I'm so glad you're here tonight because, you can be a great help to us all.
Really? How?
Oh, you can listen to the lines and see that everybody's doing them properly.
And where does that leave me?
I didn't mean the words exactly. I meant all these subtle little nuances of their interpretations.
So what you forgot to tell me to write down?
Yes.
Shall I sit out there beside you?
No! I take notes all the time during rehearsal. I might distract you.
Louise, have you got a chair back there for our playwright?
You've got a dust rag.
No, this is thrilling. Simply thrilling.
Got any other nice little surprises? I sure could use a thrill.
Oh, take it easy, Saul. Don't lose your temper.
What the hell are nuances?
Don't ask! Grit your teeth and pray you got them.
And I thought you wanted to go through this, straight through, no interruptions. Phyllis back there listening for nuances.
Cheer up. Maybe Louise will drop a sandbag on her head.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Okay. Louise, close the curtain and we'll start.
Hey, do you want the music too?
Yes, I do. Everything exactly like this was a performance.
Everybody hold your places during the music.
I'm off stage when the curtain rises. I don't have a place.
You're lucky!
Quiet, everybody.
The house lights. Get the house
Lord Dudley, would there be anyone at dinner tonight besides Sir Percival, the famous archaeologist, Dr. Rex Forbes, the famous scientist, and Stephen Sellers, the famous American millionaire?
Other than myself and Lady Margaret, my wife, and the lovely socialite Diana Lassiter here, no Doris.
That's what I thought.
I say, Diana, have you yet located that book on famous jewels of India that I told you must be there on the shelf?
Ah, yes. Here it is. Oh, I say, Lord Dudley, you didn't tell me there was a curse on the famous white ruby of Ranchapur.
Oh, what?
It's all right, Phyllis, it's all right.
That is supposed to be the Delhi diamond.
We had to change it, Phyllis.
For what possible reason?
It looked silly next to the liverwurst.
What liverwurst? There is no liverwurst in my play.
And we wanted to keep it that way.
I beg your pardon?
Phyllis, trust me, please go back off the stage and Aggie will explain the change to
But
you.
it must be...
Please, Phyllis, we open tomorrow night.
Very well, very well.
Go ahead with the show, people.
From the top? I already put the feather duster away.
No, right from where we broke.
All right. Violet, would you?
Famous white ruby of Ranchapur.
Fiddlesticks! I love hogwash! Damn superstitious rot!
But the book distinctly says that the first owner of the white ruby of Ranchapur... Oh, Jerry, can I just say ruby? I don't want to say that whole mouthful every time.
Fine, just go on.
Distinctly says that Lord Clyde Fortescue, the first owner of the ruby, was found floating in his tub in his own blood. And the next owner, Sir Giles Renfrew, had no sooner purchased the ruby from Lord Clyde's estate when he was found in his stables, trampled to death by his favorite horse. And the next owner...
Balderdash! Nonsense! I love old wives' tales!
How can it be? They are all dead, aren't they?
Yes, but consider, I bought the ruby this morning, and I'm fine. Oh.
Lord Dudley! Is anything wrong?
No, nothing, just one of my beastly attacks.
How long have you had them?
Since this morning.
You don't suppose...
Ridiculous, sheer coincidence, mere chance.
Dr. Forbes is here, Lord Dudley.
Ah, this is your fiancée, Diana. That's a pretty dumb lie. She knows he's her fiancé.
But the audience doesn't.
Why don't I just wear a signboard?
Oh, no, really, Saul.
All right, just quit your bickering and just get on with the play. It's far too late to make alterations now.
All right, Jerry. Ah, this is your fiancé, Diana.
Yes, being engaged to the world-famous scientist has made me the envy of all the girls in England.
Ah, but a lovely belle like you deserves to have a ring.
Speaking of dumb lines...
Violet.
That line is supposed to be lighthearted. The merriment provides emotional contrast with the atmosphere of terror.
That's the general atmosphere, all right.
Wait a while, please!
Yes, you flatter me, Lord Dudley.
Doris, will you show the gentleman in?
At once, my lord.
Lord Dudley, Diana.
I'm sure you young people would like to be alone. I'll just toddle off to my room and putter about.
Not that exit, Henry. That goes to the kitchen and the maid's quarters.
Oh, that's right. Of course, she's quite a good-looking maid.
Henry!
Only joking, dear.
You mean I'm not good looking?
Henry, just finish your line and go.
Saul's got a line first.
I have? Oh. Really, Lord Dudley, you needn't go.
Nonsense. I was once in love myself.
Why does he say that in the past tense?
Holly, please!
Oh, sorry.
My dearest darling.
My sweet.
My darling, I have a little surprise.
What's the matter?
I forgot the necklace. Aggie,
No, sorry. Here you go, Saul.
Aggie, as stage manager, you're responsible for making sure everyone has all their props.
I know. Phyllis was back there talking to me about nuances, and I missed Saul's entrance.
Phyllis, you really mustn't chat backstage when people have work to do.
I do apologize, Gerald. I forgot. Agnes has things to do.
My fault, I should have reminded her. Agnes. Ye gods.
pick it up from where we left off.
Good a spot as any.
My dearest darling, I have a little surprise. The white ruby of Ranchapur.
Oh, how incredibly lovely it is. Might I try it on?
Not afraid of the curse?
Well, not very much. May I, please?
Certainly you shall. Allow me. It is lovely, in such a lovely setting.
Oh, Rex, what a thing to say.
I cannot decide which is lovelier, you or that fabulous gem.
I simply must see myself in it. Let me go find a mirror.
Oh, Diana! That necklace, how dare you! Take it off at once!
Now, Lady Margaret, I was only...
I said take it off this instant!
Oh, here now, Lady Margaret. Surely there's no harm done.
No harm, you say? How can you endanger the life of this dear girl and your own fiancé?
Lady Margaret, I don't believe in that silly curse. After all, this is the 20th century.
Oh, Diana, are you all right?
Yes, I think so. It was just momentary. The room seemed to dip. My head started to spin. But I'm quite all right now.
Here, give me that. Let me put this where it can do no more harm.
Aren't you being silly, Lady Margaret?
Oh, perhaps I am, but it is better to be safe than sorry.
Should you not at least wait until Lord Dudley has seen his newest possession?
He shall see it when I feel brave enough to wear it. And don't you forget, it was purchased for me. So in actuality, it is mine to deal with as I choose. I pushed it too far.
Do you mean to say there's no back on that thing?
Oh, my fault! My fault! I forgot I was supposed to be back there to catch the damn thing!
Maggie, I hope you're making notes of all these things.
Yes, I just keep forgetting to read them.
We will never be ready by tomorrow night. Never! We've been here for an hour and a half and we haven't even gotten through the first act!
And we've only had 2 rehearsals of the third, and that's the most important act of the show.
Aggie's right. That's the act we're all really panicky about.
Well, why don't we do that act right now? It's hard to do everything that comes before it with that act hanging over our heads. Maybe if we did it, we'd feel more confident.
All right, anything to get the show nailed down. Let's do the third act. Get our confidence, and then run all 3 acts as fast as we can.
And how long is that going to take? My mom doesn't like me out too late on school nights, plus I barely passed that biology exam.
Well, the sooner we begin, the sooner we'll finish. Come on, people, let's get moving.
Do you want it with the curtain?
Not now, Louise. Wait until we're running the entire show.
Okay, just hold on a moment while I find the right spot on my tape.
Well, you haven't got anything till that phone bell. Find your place while we're running the act.
I'll do my best.
All right, everybody, top of act 3.
Lord Dudley.
I got it!
Alice, you can't keep interrupting rehearsal this way.
But I've solved the problem of the liverwurst.
Damn it, that's already been solved.
There is no need to use profanity, Saul.
That's what you think.
Hear me out, please. Oh, I was so concerned over the loss of my lovely double.
All right, let's hear your solution, but be quick.
We don't have to call it Delhi Diamond. We call it the Darjeeling Diamond. Do you see? It's still named after a town in India, but now I
All right, we get it, fine. Thank you very much, we'll make the change. Now please, get back off the stage, and I don't want to see or hear from you again until we're finished rehearsing the act, okay?
You don't have to get huffy about it.
Has everybody got the new name for that stupid gem?
Darjeeling Diamond.
Fine. Places for Act 3 and no stopping.
What do you want to bet?
Please, Louise!
Okay, I just thought it was a great opportunity to make some extra cash.
Places, everyone! And the next one who interrupts dies! I don't mean gets yelled at. I don't mean gets chewed out. I mean dies!
When your mark is set, go!
Lord Dudley, you give the most charming parties in the whole of England.
You are too kind, Diana. Please suppose we're gonna be here.
Do you know I'm worried about Percival? He's never accepted an invitation to one of our parties in the matchup. At least not without sending word.
But Lady Margaret, he might have had motor trouble.
Yes, indeed, I do hope he hasn't had an accident. These roads can be treacherous at night.
Oh, damn it, the hell!
All right. Wait, please. This is all my fault. I should be providing you with a pleasant atmosphere to work in, not strike terror into all your hearts. Take it from where you're at and just slow it down a little, all right?
So, I mean, you're not going to kill Polly?
Yes, but don't you start feeling too secure.
Right.
Go ahead, Polly. The roads can be treacherous at night.
I can't think. My mind is a blank.
Don't say such a thing.
Don't say such a thing. It would make one think that perhaps there was some truth to that story about the curse.
Nonsense, my dear. There's no such thing as a curse.
And yet, everyone who has ever owned the the ruby, I'll get it. The Darjeeling diamond has always met with a dreadful demise.
Oh, beautiful, just beautiful. Yes! Sorry.
But Percival doesn't own the diamond, the ruby, the diamond anymore. Not since he sold it to Lord Dudley for Lady Margaret's connection. Collection!
Nevertheless, Percival did own it, and that might be enough.
See here, Dr. Forbes.
Wait. Everybody take a deep breath and relax. Now, just go on and enjoy yourselves.
You are a man of science. Surely you don't believe in curses.
I only know there are strange things in the history of India, things which defy rational explanation.
Nonsense! Sheer hockey puck! Oh, poppycock! Superstitious drivel!
Quite probably, Lord. Damn it!
Stop!
Sorry, Jerry.
You're all still too tense. Slow and easy does it.
Quite possibly, Lord Dudley. And yet, where is Sir Percival?
Frankly, I'm glad he's not here.
Anna, what a thing to say.
I mean it. Sir Percival is no gentleman.
Here now, what are you saying?
When he looks at me, I feel as though his pants were moving all over my body. What is it?
It's his hands, Bob.
Is that what I said?
You said pants.
All right, well, we had a good laugh. We would like to get Smitty home sometime before dawn.
I feel as though his hands were moving all over my body.
That's it. Laugh it up. We'll see what you think it is tomorrow night.
Yes. A knight of the realm.
He is a disgusting toad, and such toads can be lecherous at night.
Begging your pardon, my lord.
Take it easy. You'll do just fine.
But should we delay dinner any longer?
No, I think not. Can't wait for Percival forever. Shall we, my dear?
I suppose so. But I did suppose someone ought to call Percival's flat to ascertain the reason for his absence.
You know, that might be a sound idea. There's something distinctly odd about all of this.
All of what, Stephen?
This business about Percival and the necklace. He did say he was bringing it tonight, Lady Margaret.
Yes, he did, but Jerry...
What's the matter?
I've been thinking about this. Saul brings the necklace in the first act, and I put it in the safe, so how can I go on?
Oh dear. I forgot to give you the new line. Yeah, when I rewrote the first act a few weeks back, I forgot all about that line in this act.
Well, this is a fine time to think about it. What's the new line?
I don't have the rewrite with me.
Approximately, then. We don't have a lot of time for fooling around with words. Just give us the gist of it and we'll improvise.
Polly's line is basically the same, only she says something to William about him not being here when Saul brings the necklace instead of Percival. Do you see?
Can you handle that, Polly?
I can give it a try.
Just get on with this thing. Oh, I need a cup of coffee. Louise, is there any coffee back there?
For want of a better name.
Well, it'll have to do. Come along, Phyllis.
Billy,
The rest of you get back to work.
Billy, throw me your last line.
The hell is it? Yes. He did say he was bringing it tonight, Lady Margaret.
Well, I did not speak with him directly, but there was a message delivered in the post this morning in which Percival had asked Dr. Forbes to bring it for him.
What? On St. Swithin's Day?
Wait a minute. That sounds like it's against the law to ask someone to deliver something on that day. The part about the post, that part has to come last, Polly.
Oh, all right, I'll try again. I did not speak with him directly, but there was a message in which Percival had asked Dr. Forbes to bring it for him. That was delivered this morning in the post.
Much better. Good. All right, go ahead, Smitty.
What? On St. Swithin's Day?
What's the matter?
It sounds like you can't go ahead because of St. Swithin.
I don't give a good damn what it sounded like. If all you 3-year-olds want to play games instead of learning to
I'm sorry,
play...
Jerry, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Smitty, please.
St. Swithin's Day?
By Jove, never thought of that. Margaret, are you certain about that message?
Why, come to think of it, no.
You didn't receive a message?
Well, yes, I did. But now I wonder if it were actually from Percival.
But it did come by post.
I assumed it had.
Assumed? You mean you didn't actually see it?
Why, no.
Then how did you know its content?
Oh, Dr. Forbes told me what it had said.
Is there any reason I shouldn't have?
No, of course not, old chap. Only if there was no delivery of the post today.
It was not a letter, it was a telegram.
I should very much like to see that telegram.
As a matter of fact, I don't have it. The message was phoned from the telegraph office.
Doris, have there been any telephone messages this evening?
Now see here, you insolent young pup. Are you doubting my word?
Of course he isn't, Rex. Stephen, you should apologize to Dr. Forbes.
Well, I shall, as soon as Doris answers my question.
No, sir.
What, are you quite sure?
The telephone has been out of order since this afternoon, Mum.
Aha! And what do you say to that, Dr. Forbes?
Damn it all to hell! Phyllis, what have you done?
What have I done? What are you talking about? Did I get the phone bell out of order on the tape?
What were you doing with the tape, Phyllis?
Oh, well, I just thought I'd give a listen to the sound effects and...
And you erased the tape! There's
What?
nothing on it! Nothing!
Oh, Louise, are you sure?
Have a listen for yourself.
I don't hear anything.
That's what I mean!
You're not leaving.
Can't do a damn thing for you if I stay! I gotta get home and retape every one of those sound effects! Well, we're great idiots! So much as comes near my machine again, I'll beat her head with it!
Louise, as long as you have to do it all again, I've been thinking, wouldn't it be easier if we hooked the telephone to a button backstage? There's so many phone calls in this show. Wouldn't it be easier if we rang them manually?
Well, yes, it would save me a lot of work tonight if I could leave those rings off the tape.
I can do the hookup. The wire's already backstage, and there's a storage battery too for power.
Okay, just make sure you put the button somewhere near the tape recorder so I don't have to leave the soundboard to find it.
Of course.
Oh, and the rest of you, remember one thing. So when you use the phone in the show, be sure that you hang it up the right way. If you hang it up wrong, so the buttons are depressed by the speaker part, the phone can't ring. Got it?
Got it.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a hell of a lot of work to do.
I am so dreadfully sorry. I feel like I owe each and every one of you an apology for what I've done.
Write it down and mail it to them.
Preferably on St. Swithin's Day.
How's that for fast work?
Beautiful, lady, just beautiful. You deserve a cup of coffee for that.
I'll settle for that stuff Louise brews.
Shall we go on or what?
Go on or else.
Oh wait, they need their cue.
Does that answer your question?
Stephen, I believe you owe Dr. Forbes an apology.
Aggie?
Oh, sorry, I was drinking my swill.
Doris, you had better answer that before we owe the caller an apology too.
Yes, sir. Hello? Who? Why, yes. He is. Just a moment. It's for you, sir.
Who is it, Doris?
Sir Percival.
It can't be. I mean,
Yes, Doctor. Exactly what do you mean?
well, I...
Hello? What? Yes. Yes, I see. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Dudley, you look so strange. What did Percival say?
That was not Sir Percival. Hell?
Aggie!
Sorry, I put my coffee cup down on the button.
Go on, people, go on!
That was not Sir Percival.
Then who was it?
That was Miles Taylor, a good friend of mine.
Stephen, I do not understand.
Nor I.
It is very simple. I asked Miles to ring up and say that he was Sir Percival, so that I could observe the effect it would have upon Dr. Forbes. I think you all will agree, he was struck dumbfounded.
Nonsense!
It is not nonsense, sir. I observed the self-same reaction.
But what does it mean?
Yes, what does it all mean?
Yes, what can it possibly mean?
Doris, you are forgetting your place.
Sorry, my lord.
I can explain what it means. It means that this man, after murdering Sir Percival for the necklace...
How dare you, sir! I'll have you in court. Such accusations are actionable. To tarnish my good name, it's libelous.
I cannot be sued successfully for libel if my accusations should prove true.
And just how do you intend to prove them true?
Quite easily. After a look at that necklace. Would you mind getting it, Dr. Forbes?
The necklace? There's no proof on the necklace. I'll show you. Aggie!
No crap, I'm so sorry, I forgot. It's just been so hectic back here with Phyllis and everything. I won't forget tomorrow night.
Aggie, don't cross backstage where the audience can see you!
I won't, I was just in a hurry.
Oh, heaven help us all.
From my line?
From anywhere!
I'll show you. Aggie, could you stand a little closer?
Sorry, Saul.
There! Now show me your ridiculous proof.
You yourself have shown the proof, Dr. Forbes. For if you are not the murderer, how did you know the combination to that safe?
Great heavens! He's right!
Blast you, Stephen Sellers. But there's one thing you did not take into account. I'm armed!
You, sir, are a scoundrel.
And I should very much like to sunder our engagement this moment.
In that case, will you marry me, Diana?
Doris, phone for the constabulary at once!
Do so, and you are dead, my dear.
Oh, Mom, what shall I do?
Raise your hands, and the rest of you do likewise. Aggie, the phone's supposed to ring there.
Oh, damn it. This is gonna be hell tomorrow night, running over here with the necklace and then running back across to help Louise with the phone, not to mention following along on the script and cueing people.
I could pass the necklace to him tomorrow night if you'd like. I'd feel much safer having it in my possession anyhow.
But won't you be seated out front?
Well, I could come up for that part. I'll need to be backstage anyhow, so I can come out for my bow.
Well, I don't know.
All right, you know what, let's just hash this out later and get on with this thing.
And the rest of you do likewise. Jam and blast, who's that?
It is my friend, Miles Taylor. I told him to ring us back shortly after his first call. If I do not answer, he shall summon the law, and they shall arrive here with a warrant for your arrest. Stanley Grimes.
Stanley Grimes? Do you mean that criminal laboratory assistant to Dr. Forbes?
To the late Dr. Forbes. Unless I miss my guess, you are done with your fiendish felonies, Grimes. Put down that pistol and surrender.
Never! I may go to the gallows, but none of you in this room will live to see it.
Please, my lord, may I leave the room?
Stand where you are. But before I destroy you all, I must know. How did you come to suspect me, Sellers?
I arrived here late, as you all know. As a result, I had time to hear the news broadcast, which told the finding of Sir Percival's body, dead from a rare Indian cobra poison. You, of course, had already disconnected the telephone here at the switch box so that no one else would hear the news. But when I accidentally knocked down your overcoats, as I was hanging on my own, and found a flagon of that very poison in your pocket, why then I knew, of course, I immediately reconnected the telephone, rang up Miles, set up our plan, and...
Excuse me, my dearest darling, but what did you know when you found this foul fiend's flagon?
Why, how this man had schemed to keep alive the legend of that curse. He had immersed the necklace in the cobra venom so that all who handled it would shortly become ill. He thought in that way to devalue it, to make Lady Margaret loathe the sight of it. And he, of course, could have it for considerably less than its real value. So anxious would she be to sell the bauble.
And I would have been too. Oh, curse you, Stanley Grimes.
Curse? Bah! There are no such thing as curses. And I have coated my hands in an antitoxin to prevent the penetration of that potent poison too. What the hell is that?
You get real sirens tomorrow night.
Aha! My delaying tactics have done their work. The law is upon you, Stanley Grimes. Surrender yourself.
Never! I shall take this necklace, sell it for a fortune, and move worthily to another country. Oh! Oh! Oh!
It's the curse! It's the curse of the
Darjeeling Diamond!
Darjeeling Diamond!
He's dead!
He has mocked the laws of society, and now a higher power has intervened.
Oh, Stephen, hold me, hold me.
Shall I close it, Jerry?
Hell no! Oh, we've only just begun. All right, you've had your third act. Now, places for the top of Act 1. It's already 10:30.
My mother is going to murder me.
Oh, but my dear, it is for such a good cause.
Well, this is it, gang. Any moment now, they're going to open those doors and let our audience in.
Do I have to? I'm not sure I'm kidding. I'm really getting scared.
That's good, Smitty. The worst way to approach a performance is with complacency. Nervousness gives the player energy.
Well, nervousness is giving this player creeping paralysis. Aggie may have to push me on stage.
Don't think I won't. I was a sergeant in the paratroops. Everybody jumped, whether they wanted to or not.
I'm not nervous about our regular audience. If we goof, they'll probably never know the difference. What's giving me the cold sweats is thinking of looking out front and seeing Jerry. He'll recognize every error.
Oh, then relax, doll. I won't be out front tonight. I'll be backstage here helping Aggie push.
Oh, come, don't you want to see the play? Not that I can blame you.
Oh, maybe tomorrow night. Tonight, Phyllis will be out front. If I sit out there, she'll want to sit next to me, and I don't think I can handle that.
Oh, that reminds me. She still insists on being behind the safe to hand solve the necklace. It saves me from running back and forth, but I'm concerned she's going to get so wrapped up in her own show that she's going to forget.
Well, if she does, this play will end with a real murder.
Well, I did it. Took me damn near 3 a.m. in the morning, but I got all those sound effects back in order on the tape.
Nice job.
You did remember not to put the phone bells on it, right?
Don't worry. Oh, but I did add a thunder and lightning storm effect.
What? But there's no thunderstorm in this show.
Whoever heard of a murder mystery without a thunderstorm? Believe me, we're gonna need it.
Louise, are you crazy? There's no place in the show to have it.
What do you want to bet?
Look, I've been over this play 100 times. I know there's no place to hear a thunderstorm. You'll just distract the actors.
Jerry, trust me, there's a perfect spot for a thunder and lightning storm effect in this show, and it won't distract the actors.
Where?
That's gonna be my little secret.
Really, Louise?
Oh, come on! Have I ever let you down?
But there's no way
Do
you can...
yourself a favor and bet me $1.
You're on.
If there's one thing I love, it's a sucker bet! You!
Oh, that's what I hate about stages. There's no place to hide.
Hello! The magical moment is upon us at last.
And so will our audience be if we don't get the curtains closed.
Will do!
Oh, goodness. Well, I just wanted to wish you all the best of luck.
In showbiz, that's bad luck to say. You're supposed to say, break a leg.
I'll never understand theater.
That's a fine thing for a playwright to say.
Our audience is coming in now. Would you all like to join me in prayer?
I'll say.
We could use a miracle.
Saint Genesius, pray for us.
Saint Genesius, pray for us!
All right, places, everyone. I'm going off stage.
So, who's St. Genesius?
Oh, he's the patron saint of actors. He performed for the Roman emperor and they put him to death.
Oh, good. I sure hope there are no emperors out front tonight.
Amen.
Lord Dudley, would there be anyone at dinner tonight besides Sir Percival, the famous archaeologist, Dr. Rex Forbes, the famous scientist, and Stephen Sellers, the famous American millionaire?
Other than myself and Lady Margaret, my wife, and the lovely socialite Diana Lassiter here, no doubt.
That's what I thought.
I say, Diana, have you yet located that book on famous jewels of India that I told you must be there on the shelf?
Ah, yes. Here it is. Oh, I say, Lord Dudley, you didn't tell me there was a curse on the famous Ranchapur Delhi. I mean, Darjeeling Ruby, Diamond.
It is known by many names, my dear.
It is? Oh, yes, it certainly is. Lots of them.
Fiddlesticks, the little hogwash. That curse, I mean. The damn superstitious rot. But the book distinctly says...
But doesn't the book distinctly says that Lord Clyde Fortescue, the first owner of the diamond, was found floating in his tub. Oh, I don't mean the diamond was found floating in his tub.
No, of course not. But what was, eh?
He was, in his own blood.
And the next owner?
And the next owner, Sir Giles Renfrew, had no sooner purchased the diamond from Lord Clyde's estate when he was found floating in his stables by his favorite horse. Trampled, I mean.
Balderdash! Nonsense! A lot of old wives' tales!
How can it be? They are all dead, aren't they? The owners, not the old wives.
Yes, but consider, I bought the ruby this morning, and I'm fine. The diamond!
Lord Dudley, is anything wrong?
Everything!
No, nothing. Just one of my beastly attacks.
You don't suppose.
Don't you wonder how long I've been having them?
Oh, yes. How long have you had them?
Since this morning.
That long, huh?
Don't you suppose that I suppose?
You don't suppose?
Ridiculous! Sheer coincidence! Merest chance!
Dr. Dudd is here, Lord Fubley.
Ah, it is your fiancée, Diana! Your fiancée, Diana!
Yes, being engaged to the world-famous scientist has made me the envy of all the girls in London. In England. In London, England.
Ah, but a lovely boy like you deserves to be wrung. To have a ring?
You flatter me, Lord Dudley.
Doris, will you show the gentleman?
At once, my lord.
Oh, coming! Lord Dudley, Diana.
I'm sure you young people would like to be alone. I'll just tunnel off to my room and put her about.
You're going the wrong way!
Okay. I suppose he's going to the outside stairway.
Yes, that must be it.
Really, Lord Dudley, you needn't go.
Nonsense! I was once in love myself.
My dearest darling.
My sweet.
My darling, I have a little surprise for you.
Oh dear. Oh.
I like surprises.
Kind of thought you did.
I can't wait to find out what it is.
Really worth waiting for.
I'm so excited.
You would be.
Can't find it, huh?
No, I bet I left it in my coat pocket. I'll be right back.
The necklace! Where the hell's the necklace?
Alice has it. I forgot to get it from her.
Here it is. I am so terribly sorry.
Just give it to me!
My evening bag.
Wrong surprise.
There! I am not satisfied! Now I think Dr. Falls is a sissy!
My dearest darling, the white ruby of Ranchapore. Whatever the hell it is.
Oh, how incredibly lovely it is. Might I try it on?
Not afraid of the curse?
Well, not very much. May I, please?
Certainly, you shall. Allow me. It is lovely. It's such a lovely setting.
Rex, what a thing to say.
I cannot decide which is lovelier. You are that fabulous gem.
I simply must see myself in it. Let me go find a mirror.
Diana! That necklace! Where is it?
Here?
How dare you! Take it out at once! Take it out at once! I'll get it! How? What the?
Hey, Lady Margaret, there's no harm done.
Oh, there's such a dear doctor! Oh, my dear! How can you think of the life of a program? Dr. Peter don't feel okay!
Come on, I can't believe that's sitting across that from the 20th century. Yes, yes, it makes sense. This is another time I've never seen it in my head. Oh, round two, everybody, places.
Holly, get off stage.
Oh, Diana. I was seeking Lady Margaret.
Lady Margaret is cutting roses in the garden, Stephen. She may not return for some time.
Would you mind if I waited for her? Here.
Naturally not.
Might I sit?
If you are so inclined.
Get off of me! Get off! offense if I were to...
Oh, Stephen, what are you trying to say?
Dash it all, Diana. Must we play at words? You know the message that longs to cry out from within my heart.
Is it possible? Do I dare for a moment imagine that the message in your heart is the self-same message that cries out from within my own? Your fly is open!
And yet you do not draw away.
Oh, I am not using that fly!
I'm almost afraid to.
Then cease your noble trepidation, Stephen Sellers, for though I am a high-born lady, I am also a woman.
Oh, Diana! Oh, Diana! Oh, Diana! Oh, Diana! Oh, Diana!
Places for Act 3, everybody! Places!
You know, Aggie, maybe I should have gone to that bar after all.
If you change your mind, I'll go with you. The parachutes were never like this.
Hey, you know the difference between a parachute and a plane?
What, Louise?
Well, when a parachute opens, you have nothing to worry about.
Oh, open the damn curtain.
Ah, Lord Dudley, you give the most charming parties in the whole of England.
You are too kind, Diana. A pity Sir Percival could not be here.
Do you know, I'm worried about Percival. He's never accepted an invitation to one of our parties and then not shown up. At least not without sending word.
Ah, but Lady Margaret, he might have had motor trouble.
Yes, indeed. I do hope he hasn't had. Oh, I do hope he hasn't had an accident. These words can be treacherous at night. Roads.
Diana, you mustn't say such a thing. It would make one think that perhaps there was some truth to that story about the curse.
Nonsense, my dear. There's no such king as a thirst. Thing is a curse. King is a thirst.
And yet, everyone who has ever owned the Darjeeling diamond has always met with a dreadful demise.
But Percival doesn't own the diamond anymore. Not since he sold it to Lord Dudley for Lady Margaret's collection.
Nevertheless,
Has Saul been taking a nip between acts?
Percival did own it, and that might be enough.
See here, Dr. Forbes. You are a man of science. Surely you don't believe in curses.
Well, Salt hates to drink alone.
Oh, dear God!
I only know there are strange things in the history of India. Things which defy rational explanation.
Nonsense. Sheer bobby socks. Superstitious drivel.
Quite possibly, Lord Dudley. Yeah.
And yet,
Where is Sir Percival?
Frankly, I'm glad he's not here.
Diana, what a thing to say.
Yes, indeedy.
I'll say.
I mean it. Sir Percival is no gentleman.
Here now. What do you say?
When he looks at me, I feel as though my hands were moving all over his body.
But he is a knight of the realm.
He is a disgusting toad, and such toads can be lecherous at night.
Yes, indeedy.
I'll say.
Begging your pardon, my lord, but should we delay dinner any longer?
No, I think not. Can't wait for Percival forever. Shall we, my dear?
I suppose so. But do you not think someone ought to call Percival's flat to ascertain the reason for his absence?
You know, that might be a sound idea. There's something distinctly odd about all of this.
All of what, Stephen?
This business about Percival and the necklace. Necklace. He did say he was bringing it tonight, Lady Margaret.
Well, I did not speak with him directly, but I did receive a message this morning in the post. On the post? In the post? The mailman brought it.
What, on St. Swithin's Day?
By Jove, never thought of that. Margaret, are you certain about that mailman? Whatever you said.
Well, I come to think of it, no.
You didn't receive a mailman?
Message.
That too?
Ah, yes, I did. But now I wonder if it were actually from Possible.
But it did come on a post.
I assumed it had.
Assumed? You mean you didn't actually see it?
Why, whatever it was, no.
And how did you know its content?
My Dr. Forbes told me what it had said.
Yes, indeed.
Is there any reason you shouldn't have?
Is there any reason I shouldn't have?
No, of course not, old chap. Only if there was no delivery in the post today.
Why'd you ask?
Only if there was no delivery of the post today, then how did you?
It was not a letter! It was a telephone, cable car, telegraph.
I should very much like to see that telegram.
Oh. All right. I have it here somewhere. Hey, I haven't got it. As a matter of fact, the message was phoned from the telegraph office.
Doris, have there been any telephone messages this evening?
Now see here, you innocent young punk! Are you doubting my word?
Of course he isn't, Rex. Of course he isn't, Rex.
Steven!
Of course he isn't, Stephen.
Should I apologize to Dr. Forbes?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, I shall. As soon as
I'm Doris.
Doris answers my question.
What was the question?
Someone must remember.
Damned if I do.
Doesn't anyone know?
No, sir.
No, what?
That's the answer to the question.
What, are you quite sure?
The telephone has been out of order since this afternoon. Mom!
Aha! And what do you say to that, Dr. Forbes?
Oh, damn it!
Does that answer your question?
Stephen, you owe Dr. Forbes an apology.
Doris, you had better answer that.
Before we owe the caller an apology too?
Yes, damn it, yes!
Yes, sir, you bet. Hello? Who? Why, yes, he is. Just a moment. It's for you, sir.
Hello? What? Who is it, Doris?
Sir Percival.
Hello? But, yes. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
It can't be! I mean,
You mean it can't be Sir Percival, right?
right.
Yes, Doctor. Exactly what do you mean?
Well,
I'm off the phone, Polly. Margaret!
Dudley, you look so strange. What did Percival say?
That was not Sir Percival.
Then who was it?
That was, a good friend of mine. Can't quite remember his name right now.
Miles Taylor?
Right, Miles Taylor.
Stephen, I do not understand.
Nor I.
I can explain what it means. It means that this man, after murdering Sir Percival for the necklace... Wait, did I say that he was struck dumbfounded?
I observed the self-same reaction. I think.
Yes, what can it possibly mean?
Doris, you are forgetting your place.
Not the only one.
Where the hell are they?
Search me.
Doris, you are forgetting your place.
How dare you, sir! I'll have you in court. Such accusations are actionable. To tarnish my good name is libelous.
I cannot be sued successfully for libel if my accusations should prove true.
And just how do you intend to prove them true?
Quite easily. After a look at that necklace. Would you mind getting it, Dr. Forbes?
The necklace? There's no proof for the necklace. I'll show you. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Lady Margaret, are you sure it's where you left it?
Where else would it be?
Why don't you have another look? Look again.
There! Now show me your ridiculous proof.
You yourself have shown the proof, Dr. Forbes. For if you are not the murderer, how did you know the combination to that safe?
Great
trust you, Stephen Sellers. But there's one thing that you did not take into... one single son. Right on!
You, sir, are a scoundrel!
And I should very much like to sunder our engagement this moment.
In that case, will you marry me, Violet?
Oh, Billy.
Diana?
With all my heart, Stephen.
Yes.
Dora's phone for the constabulary at once.
Do so, and you are dead, my dear.
Oh, Mom, what shall I do?
Raise your hands, and the rest of you do likewise.
Did you say, and the rest of you do likewise?
Hang up the phone!
Hang up the phone! Hang up the phone!
Tell him that, who's that?
It is my friend, Miles Taylor. I told him to ring us back shortly after his first call. If I do not answer, he shall summon the law, and they shall arrive here with a warrant for your arrest. Stanley Grimes.
Stanley Grimes!
Surrender yourself. Never! I shall take this necklace, sell it for a fortune, and move worthily to another country. Oh!
It's the curse! It's the curse of the Dirty Diamond!
Ranchapur Diamond!
Darjeeling Diamond.
All of them!
My dear friends and fellow theater lovers, I cannot thank you enough for the warm reception you have given my modest effort here this evening. But I would like to take this time to discuss with you the state of the theater in America.
Thank you.